Thank you.
Thank you so much, Byron. Well, now we have something special for all you bakers out there. It's summertime again in the Northland, and that means fishing, time on the beach, and baking contests at festivals and county fairs. So we sent our reporter, Lorna Lupin, to get the lowdown on the exciting world of competitive baking. Lorna?
Thank you, Lyle. Fruit, sugar, flour, and lard. If that doesn't set your taste buds afire, I think you'd better check your pulse, because everyone loves pie. But it's not all fun for the bakers of the world. Competitive pie baking is very serious business for the women who compete. And I'm standing here today in the kitchen of one of the very best bakers in northern Minnesota, Barb Anderson.
Hello, Lorna. It's very nice you could visit today.
Now, Barb, tell us about the world of pie contests. What makes them tick?
Well, I'd say the camaraderie with the other girls is what I enjoy the most. We kind of spur each other on, and it's always fun to see who comes up with something new and interesting.
You're baking something here, I see.
Yes, this is a rhubarb pie, and I'm putting it together for the Rhubarb Rumble in Northholm.
The Rhubarb Rumble. Now, is that one of those ultimate fighting contests I've been hearing about?
Oh, no. It's a festival in celebration of rhubarb. Oh, they have all kinds of rhubarb desserts on the menu. It's a lot of fun.
I see. Now, these contests, do they ever celebrate one particular type of pie or another? Say, an apple festival or a mincemeat hootenanny, for example?
Oh, well, I don't know about a mincemeat hootenanny, Lorna, but there is the Rhubarb Rumble in Northholm every June.
And what special type of pie do they feature there?
Rhubarb. They feature rhubarb pie and all kinds of rhubarb desserts.
Very interesting. Tell me, at these pie contests, do they ever have other types of desserts available?
Well, yes, Lorna. At the Rhubarb Rumble in Northholm, there's many different kinds of rhubarb desserts available, and all of them are quite tasty, if I do say so myself.
I bet so. Well, let's take a look at what you're working on here.
Well, it's a fairly basic rhubarb pie. I've sugared the rhubarb for the filling, and it's sitting in a bowl over there. Now, I'm just beginning to mix up the crust. Now, I like to use the combination of a vegetable shortening and some butter for a creamier taste.
And cold water, of course.
Oh, that's right. It's vital when you're mixing up a pie crust to use cold utensils, cold water, cold everything. In fact, I even keep my pie crust bowl in the refrigerator, so it's always nice and cool.
Yes. And what sort of pie will this be?
It's going to be a rhubarb pie. I have sugared the rhubarb for the filling, and it's sitting in a bowl right over there.
Do you prepare the filling in advance before making the crust?
Yes. You do prepare the filling in advance but before making the crust. I have sugared the rhubarb, and it is sitting in a bowl right over there.
I see. Now, rhubarb is naturally quite sour, isn't it?
Oh, most people think so, yes.
So do you need to do anything to the rhubarb to make it more palatable?
You sugar the rhubarb for a few minutes before baking it into a pie, just as I have done right over there.
I see. And what do you add to make the rhubarb more palatable, Barb?
Sugar. We use sugar.
Is that to make it sweeter?
Yes.
Now the crust. Here, what goes into that?
Well, a pie crust is a very simple pastry. It's just flour, salt, or sometimes a little baking powder, and some sort of fat like lard or shortening.
Could you use butter?
Yes. I like to use a combination of vegetable shortening and butter to give the crust a creamier taste.
Oh, what does that do?
It gives the pie crust a creamier taste. It makes it more pleasing to the palate.
Of course. Now, there is almost an infinite variety of pie, isn't there, Barb?
Oh, I should say so. Virtually any sort of fresh fruit can be combined in interesting ways to create a pie. Oh, apple, peach, blueberry, blackberry. Oh, there's no ends to the type of pies a creative person can make.
I see. And what sort of pie is this you're making?
It's rhubarb.
I believe rhubarb is naturally quite sour to the taste. What do you do to make it more palatable?
You add sugar.
Does that need to be done before baking?
Yes.
Perhaps next time we visit, you can have a pie filling already prepared for us to have a look at.
Are you putting me on?
My grandmother used to love baking pies. In fact, she had a special mixing bowl she'd keep in the refrigerator just so it was always cold. Have you ever heard of anyone doing that, Barb?
As a matter of fact, I have, Lorna. I have a special bowl for mixing up pie crust, which I also keep in the refrigerator. It's out on the counter right now.
The refrigerator is out on the counter?
No, the bowl I use for pie crusts is.
I always heard you should keep those in the refrigerator.
You should.
Which just goes to show even today's modern bakers could learn a thing or two from my grandma.
Get out of my kitchen.
It's a high-tension world, competitive baking, where even the most experienced bakers, like Barb Anderson, occasionally forget basic things like sugaring the rhubarb.
I got a rolling pin, you know.
Ooh, this is Lorna Lupin, returning it to the Icebox studio.
The Icebox Radio Actors Guild, ladies and gentlemen. Karen Schickel and Victoria Olson. Wow. Well, that is our show for tonight, folks. Our special thanks again to our musical director, Myron Howerlick. Yes, thank you, Myron. Want to thank the Lukenbills, Don and his lovely wife, and all the great folks at the fairgrounds here in Northholm. We also want to thank our sponsors, Boise Paper Solutions and Soundstages Radio at soundstagesradio.com. A reminder, we do have some CDs, both by the theater and by Myron, who has an album out featuring all the songs you've heard today, plus information on the theater and information on Sounds for Soldiers. Just come on up afterwards, and we'll be happy to chat with you about that. So to everyone here in Northholm and all our online listeners across the globe, this is Jeff Adams of the Icebox Radio Theater reminding you to keep listening.
And let's sing it. Icebox.
Icebox.
Radio.
Radio.
Theater.
Theater.
Is off the air.
Thank you very much, Northholm. Good night.
The Icebox Radio Theater is a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing the Northland stories to the world. This program, copyright 2011 by the Icebox Radio Theater, all rights reserved. Your next chance to hear a live broadcast from the IBRT will be July 16th at Birchdale Pioneer Days in Birchdale, Minnesota. Tune in at soundstagesradio.com at 11 a.m. Central Time to enjoy the show.